Good morning, Man Hour Nation. Happy Friday, March 29th, 2024, 10 a.m. right here on the East Coast time. This is Man Hour NFL Talk. We are live every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. East Coast time. But it is a fact or crap day here on the old interwebs. Facebook.com/manhourradio.com. And of course, YouTube.com/manhour. We got fact or crap, but first we got to talk about.
And now, Mike's thoughts.
Yesterday, during the show, reports started to surface that Woody Johnson and head coach Robert Saleh were having a very heated conversation during the owners' meeting. Colleen Wolfe from the NFL Today first tweeted this out, saying that there's a very heated argument happening between Woody Johnson and Jets head coach Robert Saleh right now. Woody Johnson is very upset about the one-sided conversation that Robert Saleh has about his coaching aspect, a.k.a. he's a defensive-minded coach and always wants to talk about defense. Later in the day, many people started reporting at it. It started to gain a little traction. Started to get the oof, right? Woody Johnson did come out via Twitter and said, hey, this is absolutely false. We did not have a heated conversation. We did not do this. We did not do that. He said it's absolutely, completely false. Colleen Wolfe, like I said, was the first person to talk about the issue, and now she's kind of backpedaling a little bit. She says, hey, I wasn't there, but a very reliable source told me what happened. And she said, and I quote, I'm going to leave the breaking news to the NFL insiders. So, first things first, Colleen Wolfe. If you hear something and you think is good news, put it out there. Obviously, heated arguments happen all the time. If Woody Johnson and Robert Saleh have not been at each other's heads all offseason, something is wrong. That means they're very passionate, or they're very passive about the situation in New York. Woody Johnson should be pissed off right now. He spent millions upon millions of dollars to bring Aaron Rodgers in. He brought millions upon millions of dollars to bring in Delvin Cook. He brought millions upon millions in to bring old Randall Cobb in, right? And the Jets were just as good as they were the previous year. Of course, Woody Johnson has every right to be pissed off. Robert Saleh, you are a head coach now. You might be a defensive-minded head coach. I get it. Defense is your glory days, right? But guess what? As a head coach, you got to be both sides of the ball. You got to be all three sides of the ball, special teams, offense, and defense. So to say that Woody Johnson said it was completely, absolutely false, I don't think so. I don't think so. You can say what you want, Woody Johnson, but we all see through the mud. We all see through the smoke screens. We all see what you got to talking about. And the truth of the matter is that if there's not a heated conversation between you and Robert Saleh, you are just okay with being mediocre. That's what it comes down to. Sorry about your luck, man. New York Jets better figure yourselves out real quick because you're a Super Bowl team. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? Let's go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buck Country here with the Man Hour. Be sure to head over to NFLtoday.co. Check out the blog section, check out the merchandise section. And of course, you go over to manhourradio.com as well and check out what's going on over there as well. But guys, we do got a good for you show lined up for you today. We got a fact or crap. We're going to talk about the Denver Broncos, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and of course, a little bit about the Philadelphia Eagles. Guys, this is a live, raw, uncut NFL show here. Comments are encouraged. Talk your stuff in the comments below and be ready to defend yourself because we like to interact with those comments. Become a pigskin content below. Click on the link. Little as $4.99 a month will get you free merchandise. It'll get you access to the behind-the-scenes footage, the after shows, and starting this NFL season, all the games will be streamed right here if you are a pigskin pundit. So if you are an Eagles fan and you live in Santa Clara, California, you don't get those Eagle games? Well, guess what? You can come right over here and watch it. It is what it is. But you have to become a $4.99 member or higher. Become a pigskin pundit today. Well, guys, let's get into the chat here. Let's see what's going on. We got my man, James Chamberlain, in the chat. Good morning to you, James. And he says, which the NFL becoming so specialized, there is every... What? One second here. With the NFL becoming so specialized, there's every a day. I am so confused what you're trying to say here, James. Which the NFL becoming so specialized. So with the NFL becoming so specialized, there is ever a day where the head coaching position is eliminated in the DC. Okay, I got it now. I got it. I had to think through it, but I got it. So basically, James is asking, is there ever going to become a day where the head coach is no longer a part of the NFL landscape? You just have an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. The answer to that question is no. I don't think that day will ever come. I think we will always have to have a manager, and that is what a good head coach is a manager, right? You are managing the offense. You are managing the defense. Everywhere that you look at it, that is a pyramid scheme, right? You have the head coach at the top, then you have the offensive coordinator, then you have the defensive coordinator, then you got your quarterback coaches, running back coaches, wide receiver coaches, and then then the players. The reason why you have a head coach is to have the final say, right? It's the chain of command, right? If the quarterbacks have an issue, they take it to the offensive coordinator. If the offensive coordinator cannot figure out the issue, then it takes it to the head coach for the ultimate decision, right? So I don't think that the NFL head coach will ever be taken out of the NFL or anywhere, college, high school, little leagues, etc. But I do think a good head coach is a manager, right? Managing the aspect. Let the coaches coach, right? Now we've heard a lot of situations where Brian Daboll in New York says he is going to start taking over the play calling, aka become the offensive coordinator. Now, I have been in many organizations where pretty much all of them were the head coaching, where the head coach is the offensive coordinator / play caller. Recently, about 5 years ago, I did become a coach on this coaching staff where the head coach was strictly just a manager. He had an offensive coordinator that did his thing, a defensive coordinator that did his thing. I mean, obviously the head coach had the ultimate say and said, no, I want this offense run. No, I want this defense of run. And I think he had a pretty good system in place. He just did not execute it. But I do not think that the NFL head coach will ever go away. I think we will always have a head coach, James. Sorry, it took me a while to figure out what you're saying there. I was trying to think of an answer and read the question all at the same time. It was not doing very good. Speaking of not doing very good last night, guys, I am a popcorn connoisseur. I love me some popcorn. I will eat popcorn for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's 15 times. I can probably eat 15 bags of popcorn a day. Well, last night, we were sitting there and watching the basketball game. What game were we watching? We were watching UNC taking on Alabama, right? And I'm like, man, I want some extra butter in my popcorn. Stick a butter in the microwave, getting it nice and melted down. And the first time ever, guys, I legit blew up my butter in the popcorn. It goes poof. I had a quarter stick of butter in a bowl. It blew up. Butter all over the microwave. I had no butter for my popcorn. Did you guys know that is a thing, that stick butter can legit blow up in the microwave? This shit goes poof, and it is everywhere. I'm like, what in the hell just happened? I was not happy. Not happy for one, because I had to clean the damn microwave, which I still need to go do that because it was still running down. I figured, like, hey, maybe it'll dry off. I'll take like a little putty knife and be easier to just scrape it off. I don't know. But the simple fact that then I had no butter for my popcorn. It's like, what the hell? What the hell is going on here? It was stupid. Got my man WB Ant in the chat. What's up, Ant? Hopefully everything's going well in Baltimore. I did see that they are they are cleaning the bridge up well, and hopefully your commute isn't terrible, like extra 2 hours or whatever it is. And Ant says, you guys say no diddity. I'm not saying Diddy in my mouth for a very, very long time. I used to be a Puff fan. Then he switched to like P Diddy and now Diddy and now back to P Diddy. I used to be a Puff fan. Puff Daddy, right back in the day. Puff Daddy and the Fam. Nice little, what was it, like a beige color album, and it had Puff Daddy and the Family on there. It was a pretty good album. But we obviously know he loves him some buttered butt cheeks now, don't we? But guys, like I said, we do got a good show for your lineup today. Yesterday was kind of just shooting the shit all day long. We had a grand old time. I like to shoot the shit with you guys, but feel free if you want to talk some shit, go jump up there in the comments below. We will talk shit, and we'll talk about pretty much about whatever that you want. But right now, I want to talk about the one and only Philadelphia Eagles. I want to talk about Saquon Barkley and how he joined the New Heights podcast with Travis and Jason Kelsey about joining the Eagles. But I want to dive deeper into the Philadelphia Eagles situation. Obviously, guys, last season, the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm talking about 2023 here, the Philadelphia Eagles started off hot. They were 10-1. Things were clicking. They had wins over like the Chiefs. They had wins over the Cowboys. They were looking like a team on a mission. The team that was going back to the Super Bowl, baby. But then, final 6 games of the NFL season, won one of their next 5. Ultimately did make the playoffs as a 6th seed, right? Lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the wildcard game. Nick Sirianni said, you know what? It's the offensive coordinator's fault. It's the defensive coordinator's fault. Let's get them out of town. Let's bring in Kellen Moore, and let's bring in Vic Fangio. Let's get it all together. So, guys, the real question is right now is with the additions and subtractions of the Philadelphia Eagles of this offseason, will this get the sour taste out of the mouth of the Philadelphia Eagles fans? The addition of Saquon Barkley is huge for the Philadelphia Eagles. They love them some Saquon. Saquon is from the Pennsylvania area, apparently. Him and his wife and his family all live in Pennsylvania, so it kind of made sense, I guess, right? The simple fact of the matter is, guys, the Eagles were a bad team last season. We saw it even on their Super Bowl run. They were just not a very well coached team. On the bright side of the Eagles, they do have a second place schedule this season. So schedule should be a little bit easier in theory. But let me ask you guys this question. Is Nick Sirianni on the hot seat? Does Nick Sirianni and the Philadelphia Eagles have to have a successful season for him to keep his job? Last season, they did finish 11-6. Not a terrible season, right, as far as the record books go, but the last 6-7 weeks, that was a hellstorm. The wheels fell off and the trailer house was on fire. Does Nick Sirianni have to have a successful season? He can be 11-6 still this season, but it cannot be like the last 6 weeks of the season. If Nick Sirianni does not have a successful season, does he get fired? I think he does. I think Nick Sirianni is on the very much of a hot seat. I think Nick Sirianni is kind of a 3-game losing streak away of getting fired mid-season. The Philadelphia Eagles want to be successful. The Philadelphia Eagles want to win a lot of games. Hell, when Andy Reid was there, he took them to 4 straight NFC championship games. Had a couple seasons of lackluster success. He was out of town. Boom, get out of here. If Nick Sirianni this season, guys, has a 3 or 4 game losing streak like they did last season, there's a coach out there waiting in the wings to take his job. There's a coach out there waiting to just swoop in there and take a underperforming team and take them to the promised land. That coach is by the name of Bill Belichick. I think Bill Belichick is going to sit out for a season, collect his thoughts, rewrite his playbook, rewrite his defensive mindset, take a breather, look around the landscape and say, man, the Philadelphia Eagles got a quarterback by the name of Jalen Hurts. Not a terrible quarterback. Not a top 10 quarterback or a top 5 quarterback, but not a bad quarterback. Still got A.J. Brown. Still got Devontae Smith. Still got one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, minus Jason Kelce. Got running back like Saquon Barkley. Let me go over there. Let's see. What are you guys thinking here? Is Nick Sirianni on the hot seat? James thinks that Saquon Barkley is going to go off in Philly. Listen, Saquon Barkley is a player that has kind of just been, I mean, he has never been terrible, right? When he's healthy and when he plays, he puts up great numbers. He does good work. He does get out there on the field and strive for greatness each and every day. But I feel like the Giants were kind of keeping the ceiling of Saquon Barkley a little low. That is what is good about Saquon Barkley, is his floor is very, very high. Meaning even on his bad games, he's still going to give you 80, 85 yards. Just keep feeding the man. You let him touch the ball 15, 16, 20 times a game, he's going to give you 100 yards. He's going to give you a C note. That's his floor. His ceiling, even if you give him the ball 30 times a game, he's still going to give you about 140, 160, right? That is Saquon Barkley's range. Nice, consistent running back, and I think he's going to thrive with that in Philly as well. W. Ant said, plus he went to Penn State. Barkley times Hurt on the RPO is going to be lethal. Lethal, he says. See, I do like your run-pass option, but let me take those letters, Ant. Let me mix them up a little bit. Let me pull them out of the bag, and let me give you a PRO, pass-run option. What do I mean by a pass-run option? I think the pass-run option is a hell of a lot more dangerous than the RPO. Because your first letter of the RPO is R, which means run. The first letter of PRO is P, mean pass. They have a great tight end in Philly by the name of Dallas Goedert. I think Dallas Goedert is going to really break onto the scene this season. He's a big body tight end. When he's able just to run a little, I don't know, just like little pigtail route, like a out, or a quick little U-dub shape route, quick slant, dump that off, poof, like it's there. If it's not there, then you turn, you ride Saquon out. You ride him out. Oh, that defense wants to take on Saquon, poof, there goes Hurt. There's your PRO, pass run option. I have been implementing that into my high school game, and it has been unstoppable. And this is with high school kids. Think about it if you do it with, what's the old Remember the Titans line? It's just like butter. It works every time, right? You just run that play over and over and over again, it's going to be dangerous. But you got to keep A.J. Brown happy. James says he's got to make it minimum to the NFC Championship this year to keep his job. The NFC this year, let's look at the NFC, right, guys? You can say the Cowboys are going to be there because on paper they have one of the best rosters constructed in the NFC. You're still going to have the 49ers. You're going to have the Eagles. The Lions should be there as well. I'm going to throw in a surprise team in the Chicago Bears. They might be there depending on how their quarterback situation goes. The NFC is pretty wide open. So, James, I think you might be correct. I think that barring a epic collapse in the playoffs, post or second half of the season, again, the Eagles should definitely be in the Super Bowl / NFC championship game. Now, obviously, they don't have to win the NFC championship game, but I feel like if you go to the NFC championship game twice in 3 years, that gives you a pass for the next season, right? But I think if you at least make it to the divisional round and have a 11-6 season without like an epic collapse at the end, I think he is going to be okay. I think he could probably even lose in the wild card game without an epic collapse and still be okay. Ant says, yeah, he's definitely can't lose in the first round again. I mean, James and Ant, you guys might be onto something here. Like I feel like a decent regular season will kind of allow him to keep his job. But what if you do like what if the Eagles are a 6 seed or a 7 seed again in the playoffs and then they lose to the Bucs again? I think you guys might be right. If he loses in the first round to a team that shouldn't be in a conversation of beating you, i.e. the Buccaneers, i.e. the Saints, those type of teams, it's going to be tough. John Harbaugh is on the hot seat too. He needs to go. Baltimore Ravens fans do not like the mini coach Harbaugh. Let me ask you this question though, James or Ant. I'm sorry. Who would be a better coach for somebody like Lamar Jackson and the team that you have currently constructed there in Baltimore? You don't like John Harbaugh, but John Harbaugh has catered his coaching style to fit the playing style of Lamar Jackson. He has brought in these offensive coordinators to really expedite Lamar Jackson's growth. Do you think any other coach in the NFL right now, let's look at the coaching landscape across the NFL right now. Do you think any of those coaches would have been able to put Lamar Jackson in those positions to succeed like he has over the last 6 seasons? Yes, I do talk bad about Lamar Jackson a lot, but truth be told, without a coach like John Harbaugh or the people that he has put around him, Lamar Jackson would not be performing at an MVP level. Lamar Jackson would not have those 2 MVPs without John Harbaugh. Let's say you put Mike McCarthy as the Baltimore Ravens head coach. Do you guys make it to the AFC Championship game last season? Probably not. Mike McCarthy is a very run-happy coach. He wants to run the ball as of now, but previously he was a very pass-happy coach. You put him on the Ravens the last 3-4 seasons, Lamar Jackson's probably out of the league, or he's fired. Let's say put in Mike McDaniels. Comes from the running aspect from the 49ers. Has this high-flying offense in Miami. What kind of offense would he have in Baltimore? And I just think John Harbaugh is a good fit in Baltimore. I mean, isn't he the longest tenured coach right now in the NFL? Him and Mike Tomlin started the same season, right? Oh. James says that's an insane take. What are you talking about? And says how he always gets out coached in the playoffs. Lamar has saved his jobs years ago. Does he get out coached in the playoffs though, or does Lamar Jackson just not perform like he did in the regular season? It's kind of a double-edged sword a little bit here, Ant. Yes, maybe John Harbaugh does get a little bit out coached in the playoffs. Maybe his butthole does pucker a little bit as well. But let's just be honest. Lamar Jackson's stats in the playoffs are not that favorable either. Now, is that because John Harbaugh is putting him in bad positions to succeed? Or is Lamar Jackson just a playoff bust? Like, I would be curious to see what the game plans look like going into said playoff game. Let's look at the playoff game in Buffalo a couple years ago when Lamar Jackson got knocked out. What, second quarter? Was that game plan to go in there and pass the ball all over the Buffalo Bills when they've been running the ball successfully all season long? I'll be curious. But I think it's a both person problem in the playoffs. I think it's a little bit of John Harbaugh in the playoffs. Also think it's a little bit of Lamar Jackson in the playoffs too. James says delayed handoffs are always gain good yardage. Sometimes, unless you're the Dallas Cowboys and get sacked for like 8-yard loss on the draw play. James says he is carrying Lamar's sorry's ass, then gets lit up and turned up Lamar when he folds up. Basically, James is saying that John Harbaugh has been carrying Lamar Jackson's sorry ass. Then he gets lit up and turned up when Lamar folds up. See, this is the issue that I have with a lot of the Lamar Jackson fans, right? Because I live in Louisville, Kentucky. There are tons of Baltimore Ravens fans down here because of Lamar Jackson. Obviously, Lamar Jackson won the Heisman with the Louisville Cardinals, had a very successful college career. He is pretty much goated around here. He is put on a statue everywhere you go. If you talk bad about Lamar Jackson out in the streets, you might get shot. Let's just be honest. But this is the problem with Lamar Jackson fans, right? People like my man Isaac. Oh, Lamar Jackson doesn't have any help. Lamar Jackson doesn't have this. Lamar Jackson doesn't have that. It's Coach Harbaugh's fault, right? But when Lamar Jackson does have a successful game, has a successful season, has a successful MVP, oh, he did it all by himself. He has a good supporting cast. John Harbaugh was actually putting him in the correct positions, and he just willed himself to do this, and this. But when he loses, oh, he doesn't have any help. John Harbaugh's this, John Harbaugh's that. You can't have it both ways. That is what is frustrating about Lamar Jackson's fans. Now, obviously, I feel that Lamar Jackson kind of put this on himself a little bit when he was a rookie, final draft of the first round. He's like, yeah, I'm going to bring a Super Bowl to Baltimore in my first 5 years. That put him up on this pedestal. Put him up on the pedestal. John Harbaugh is one of the best coaches in the NFL. Lamar is far and away from the most overrated player in the NFL. Shots fired from James. James says Lamar Jackson's the most overrated player in the NFL. John Harbaugh is the best coach. I got my man, John Peoples, in the chat. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, y'all, he says. And says he's carried Lamar or even the Ravens when they won the Super Bowl. Defense and Joe Cool's performance in the playoffs. Greg Roman and Todd Monken is the reason why Lamar Jackson won those 2 MVPs. Harbaugh is a special teams coach for a reason. Or John Harbaugh hired coaching to coach. He hired Greg Roman and Todd Monken to coach the respective sides of the ball. You coach an offensive, defensive coordinator to coach that side of the ball. That's their job. But it is what it is. John says they'll be running the ball now with like Henry until Henry falls off the cliff week 8. Ant says he abandons the run every time. And yes, Lamar deserves the blame as well. But to answer your question, Buck, I like to see Mike Vrabel as a Ravens head coach. That is another coach that I was surprised that didn't get a job this offseason was Mike Vrabel. Well, I mean, he ultimately did get a job somewhere. Well, he's in Seattle, right? As like a defensive coach or something like that or whatever. But I really thought he was going to get a head coaching job somewhere. But let me ask you this, though, like Ant, James, John, and get everybody else out listening there in podcast world at millions.co. if the Baltimore Ravens flatter out in the playoffs again, let's say they have a very successful regular season. They go 13-4, right? First in the AFC conference, again, number 1 overall seed. They happen to win a playoff game, and then they play, let's just say they play the Pittsburgh Steelers in the championship game, and they happen to lose that game. Now you had back-to-back seasons of AFC championship appearances, back-to-back season with the number 1 overall seed, back-to-back season with a very successful regular season. At that point, do you let John Harbaugh go? At that point, do you see a ticking time bomb waiting to happen because Father Time is still undefeated? Lamar Jackson's getting older. Derrick Henry's older, right? The rest of the receiver corps is older. The defense is older. Do you bite the bullet and fire a coach that has led you to back-to-back AFC championship games? That is the question. If the Ravens have another successful season, flatter out in the playoffs again, lose in the AFC championship game again, do you fire John Harbaugh and go after a coach like Mike Vrabel? Do you go after a coach like Bill Belichick? Hell, do you go after a coach like maybe Eric Bieniemy? Let's see. Harbaugh will be on the hot seat all season long, says John. All season long, he will be on the hot seat. Interesting. James says if Lamar Jackson goes 20 for 37 again like he did against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game last year, no. So basically, Lamar gave John Harbaugh a pass. Like if that were to happen, that would kind of be his pass because Lamar didn't perform up to standards again. I don't know. And says he is not an offensive coach. He didn't step in when Greg Roman was calling 2 jet sweeps back-to-back and a QB runs on 3rd and 6s. True, but you guys have also been doing that all season long too. I mean, Ant says Ed Reed even called out hardball. Did he? Damn. Nice ad. Alrighty, guys. So the first factor crap of the day that we're going to talk about here, let's talk a little bit about the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos are currently sitting at the 12th overall pick in this year's draft. They have released Russell Wilson, and they have had over 10 starting quarterbacks in the last 6 seasons. So, guys, is it a fact or is it a crap that the Denver Broncos have to take a quarterback at 12th overall pick this season? Guys, the Denver Broncos are a dumpster fire. Let's just be honest. When you look up a dumpster fire, you will see 3 things. You will see the Las Vegas Raiders and their move from Oakland to LA, back to Oakland, back to LA, back to Vegas. That's been a dumpster fire. You will see the Kyle Shanahan in the championship playoff or in the championship play calling. You will see that. And then you'll see the Denver Broncos season ever since the new ownership has taken over. Ever since Walmart, the great value brand, has taken over the Denver Broncos, it has been nothing but a dumpster fire. If they move up in the draft and select a quarterback, they are making a mistake. There are good quarterbacks that could be projected in the second round. You have potentially Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Spencer Rattler, Jordan Travis. You can probably get Jordan Travis like the 5th round, fourth round. But at 12th overall, the Denver Broncos need to focus on offensive weapons. Not quarterback, offensive weapons. Whether it's a running back, whether it's a receiver, whether it's a game-changing defensive player, they need a playmaker besides a quarterback at 12th overall pick. The Denver Broncos are a dumpster fire. Dumpster fire. They need some playmakers. They need somebody to make a splash, and it's not going to be a quarterback at 12th overall pick. J.J. McCarthy is not the answer. Drake May is not the answer. Now, if Jaden Daniels falls down to 12, you better pick his ass up. But you need a receiver. You need a running back. You need somebody. But on the flip side of that coin, the Denver Broncos do not have a second-round pick. If you remember right, they gave everybody and their dog for Russell Wilson a couple years ago. In that trade for Russell Wilson, they gave up Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, a 2022 and 23 first-round picks, 22 and 23 second-round picks, and a 22 fifth-round pick. For Sean Payton, they gave up a 2023 first-round pick and a 2024 second-round pick. So they don't have a second-round pick this season. Where they get those two first-round picks to get Sean Payton and Russ Wilson, I don't know. The Denver Broncos need a playmaker, so it is a crap. They do not need to draft a quarterback at 12th overall. They need to draft a playmaker, a receiver, or a running back. They need somebody to make a splash on the field. They need a receiver to team up with old Cortland Sutton, right? Since Jerry Jeudy's gone. You can get a quarterback in the 3rd round. You can get a quarterback in the 4th round. You still have what's-his-face that you guys started last year that you were so in love with. What do you guys think? Is Denver shitty? Crap on Denver all day. James says they will need to trade up if they want to take a quarterback. They don't have any draft picks to trade up. This year alone, they have a first-round pick with 12th overall. They have a third-round pick was like 56th or 57th or something crazy like that. And then they have like a sixth-round pick. They do not have very many picks to incentivize to move up, right? And if you want to draft a quarterback, you're probably going to have to jump up into the top 4. That is a multiple 3-pick jump. You better love the guy. You better love the guy because right now you don't have any first-round picks in 25. You don't have any first-round picks in 26. You wouldn't have any first-round picks in 27. 3 first-round picks to move up into the top 4. And then you draft J.J. McCarty? And says, does Denver even have a first-round pick? Yeah, they do. 12th. Lucky for them, they got a bunch of assets prior to the Russell Wilson trade. But it is what it is. John says, what a putz. LOL, the Raiders have the best organization ever. Okay. There's a reason why the Las Vegas Raiders keep moving from city to city to city every 10 years, John, because nobody wants them. And it says the Broncos haven't been relevant since Peyton Manning left. There has never been more facts spoken right there. When you sell your soul to the devil to win a Super Bowl, a.k.a. bring in Peyton Manning, build a team strictly around Peyton Manning, he retires. He won you a Super Bowl, like 2, right? Two Super Bowls or just 1? I can't remember. Sold your soul to the devil. Sold your soul to the devil. The last factor crap of the day, guys. We're going to talk a little bit about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Omar Khan says he is shocked that he landed both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields this offseason, and he is very excited about the quarterback room moving forward. Last season, as you guys know, the quarterback issues in Pittsburgh Steelers were very, very huge. It was very, very apparent. It was a very, very red-nosed out there, per se. Kenny Pickett is now gone. Mason Rudolph is now gone. And now you have Russell Wilson and Justin Fields in this quarterback room. So, guys, is it a fact or is it a crap that the Pittsburgh Steelers nailed this offseason? And Omar Khan has every right to be excited. Guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers are a team that normally grows talent within, right? They normally don't go out there and make big splashes in free agency. They don't go out there and get the big name linebacker. They don't go out there and get the big name running back. They don't go out there and get the big name quarterback. They usually draft it and they mature those guys and they consistently just bring the culture and then grow, and they win and win and win and win. A lot of mediocre games. But this season, finally, actually, I guess the last 18 months, the Pittsburgh Steelers have finally taken a new route, right? They filed their offensive coordinator mid-season last year in 2023. They had not had a 400-plus yard game in like 56 or 59 games, fired Matt Canada, insert new offense coordinator the very next game, boom, 400 yards plus. Steelers have never done that before. Steelers have never gone out and got a big name linebacker, but they did this year, Patrick Queen. They never went out and traded for a quarterback this offseason. They did that with Justin Fields. Guys, this is a fact. Omar Khan, the Pittsburgh Steelers fans, you all should be very, very excited. I think Russell Wilson on the Pittsburgh Steelers makes them a championship caliber team. Adding depth in the quarterback room and Justin Fields adds that longevity. Adding Patrick Queen to an already top 5 defense makes you even that much better. Also makes your opponents much worse. Right, Baltimore Ravens fans? Guys, this is a fact. The Pittsburgh Steelers nailed this offseason. A+ for them. They've gotten better. They went from the laughingstock of the NFL to potentially a Super Bowl contender. If I had to pick wins and make a playoff bracket out right now, I would have the Pittsburgh Steelers probably sitting at number 2, if not number 3 seed, and probably one of the most dangerous teams that I do not want to play in the AFC playoffs. They are that good. That damn good. John says, going to be a shootout in their own division. Listen, the AFC North is really, really, really good. Cleveland Browns held on last season despite going through four quarterbacks and like 16 running backs. They all should be back. Nick Chubb is back. Deshaun Watson's back. That rookie that kind of broke off late in the year should be back. That defense is still stout. Added to the offensive side and then picked up Jerry Jeudy. Browns are going to be pretty good still. Cincinnati Bengals, the true wild card. A lot of inner fighting in Cincinnati right now about contracts, about this, about that. They should be okay still. They were still a 9-win team last season, just missed the playoffs without their starting quarterback in Joe Burrow. Guess what? He is back. Baltimore Ravens, still a pretty good team. Still got a pretty good defense out there, even though they lost many good pieces, I think, and Darby and Geno Snowden and Patrick Queen. Odell Beckham Jr. is now gone to, took away Gus the Bus. I think he's with Rams now, right? Did add Derrick Henry. Still a pretty good team. Still have Lamar Jackson. Still have John Harbaugh, one of the best coaches in the NFL. But I am curious to see if the AFC North doesn't cannibalize itself. Like, meaning they just beat each other up so much that they're tired when it comes to playoff time. Right? Because, yes, I do know the Cowboys and Eagles play twice a year, and the Giants and the Commanders, right? They all get up for the Cowboys. Which that's ultimately why the Cowboys do flutter out in the playoffs, because they're tired, right? But their defense is going to be a shootout. I do agree with you on that. James says Steelers are never down for long. Have they ever been down? My uncle was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, my Uncle Bill. And every year it seemed like the Pittsburgh Steelers were always a good competitive team. Have they ever been down? Have they ever had a losing season? Obviously, Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season in his tenure. Bill Cowher was there forever. I feel like he would never lose. Like, legit. Like, I'm going to have to look this up. Has the Steelers ever had a losing season? Dave is in the chat. Sorry, it's DeWand. David. What's up, David? Chargers in the house. Excuse my absence. No worries, man. We understand it's NFL offseason. We're just shooting shit, brother. Ant says, fact. Pittsburgh's got 2 quarterbacks for under $5 million. A starting linebacker from opposition. Deion Jackson is a speedy quarterback, and they got Cordell Patterson, which is a sneakily good signing with the rule change, right, of the kickoff. This is coming from a Ravens fan. Ravens fan saying that Steelers nailed the offseason. I like it. I like it. David said Justin Fields is the answer. We are going to get a good taste of Justin Fields this offseason because I feel like Hard Knocks is going to have to go to Pittsburgh, right? Get the Pittsburgh Steelers on Hard Knocks. I want to see the growth and the evolution of Justin Fields. Is he really the man, the myth, the legend, or is he just a buzz? Ant says the AFC North is the best division in football. You guys might be the best division in football from top to bottom. However, give me the rising of the AFC South. I like me some AFC South too. I like what the Texans are doing. I like what the Titans have done this offseason. The Colts are always somewhat there year after year after year. The Jaguars, they could be either super good or super bad. But yeah, I think you're right. The AFC North is pretty damn good. I think they should completely let Fields. Ant says, I think they should definitely let Fields compete with Russ for the job. I wouldn't just hand it to Russ. Fields would be more of a threat in their scheme. I think it is going to be a open competition for that quarterback battle. Excuse me. Now you do have to potentially name a starter, right? Like you do have to say, hey, Russ is our guy going into training camp. Justin Fields is our guy going into training camp, but that does not mean it's not an open quarterback competition, right? Give the old head his homage, right? Let Justin Fields earn that job or take away the job. That gives Justin Fields that much more confidence, right? Hey, I went in there. I competed for that job. I beat Russ out for the job. I mean, if that were to happen, sheesh, to the moon, baby. To the moon. I hate the Steelers, says Ant, but I respect them. They've owned us the last couple seasons. The Steelers are just a really, really good organization. Really good franchise. A lot of good things happening in Pittsburgh. Let's just be flat out honest about that. But let's just be flat out honest, guys. It's the weekend. It's Friday. It's Good Friday. We're going to end the show a little early today, guys. We're going to end it. I got to find my kids' Easter baskets. I think they're up in the attic in the storage unit. I don't know. I got to find them. My wife's been harping on me for 2 weeks to find the damn Easter baskets, and I haven't done it. And guess what? Today is Good Friday. And she's like, I need those fucking Easter baskets right now. Hi, Captain. You guys have a great weekend. If you are a pigskin pundit, I'm going to be running a test of the game sometime this weekend, whether it be tonight or tomorrow. So be sure to look out for the Pigskin Pundit live only feed. But until next time, guys, ELE, everybody love everybody. See you guys Monday. We're diving deep into the NFL draft because it is April 1st and we are 28 days away from the draft when that happens. ELE, see you guys tomorrow or Monday, 10 a.m. East Coast time. We out.